Hello everybody! Welcome to my 5th chess video. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And today, I'm going to be doing two things. The first thing I'm going to be doing is showing a game I played about 2 years ago and how much I've grown in chess since then. And then the second thing I'm going to do is play a 10-minute chess game, but it's going to be rated and it's going to count towards my rating. So, first off, if you couldn't already tell by the balloons right behind me here, this week was my birthday. And so I was telling myself before making this video, what am I going to do? It's my birthday week. I have to include my birthday somehow. So I changed the way the board looks. I added a little cake by my profile, and I also changed the way the pieces look, just temporarily for a week, so I can make this video and also try out the new format that I got offered by chess.com. So anyways, here we go. So this game happened on July 3rd, 2023. And when this game happened, I was at the time rated 769. And I did not know how to play chess. And it might have been 2024. I'm pretty sure it was 2023. Whatever year it was, I did not know what I was doing. I was rated 769, and I was a beginner. And like I said in my last video, I did not know really how to play chess. And like I said before, I made something called a pawn wall, where I would just keep pushing the pawns and hope that I would do something. So, in all the chess games I played as white, I've never made a bad move. Usually the first move I always make is normal, like this, and that's just how the game goes. But for some reason in this game, I decided to go a3, which is the worst possible opening move you can make, and I didn't even know it at the time. I'm facing this guy named Reiko MUJ, and he is from Estonia, which is actually really interesting because he might be one of the few players I played from that country. I've never even heard of it. So I play the move a3. And he responds by playing the normal move, e5, and we have ourselves a chess game. At the time, I'm rated 769. I've played probably 300 or 400 chess games in my life. And like I said in my last video, I did something called a pawn wall, and I moved to b3. Which, I guess what I was going to do is make a pawn wall, where if he just keeps making normal moves, I'm just going to make my wall, and we're going to see what happens, because I thought it was cool looking, and I also thought it might work. So that's what I did, and we go throughout the game, and all of a sudden I get a check, and so then I block it with another pawn, and I build my pawn wall. Next thing you know, this is what the board looks like. This is what the chessboard looks like after 8 or 9 moves. And it's kind of embarrassing to think I actually did this in a real game. And, you know, it's probably also interesting how this game turned out. He castles, and I move my queen, and I just don't move any of the pawns. I keep my wall. And that's what I did before. About 2 or 3 years ago, I played this on Cool Math Games too, on chess.com as well. And Lichess, I made my pawn wall, and then I just wouldn't move the pawns. So I basically let my opponent develop all their pieces and just get ready to attack me. And that is exactly what they did. And my opponent moved to e3 with the knight, which now attacks this rook, and it's just very hard to get out of this. And I can't take this knight because then his bishop will take my queen, so I'm in a lot of trouble. And so I move the queen to e2, and he takes, and I take back, and then he ends up taking my knight. I take back with the queen, and now this just looks so bad. There's really nothing to say because now there's another free pawn here, and he takes it, and then I move my queen again, and then he takes, and all of a sudden I'm down by 4 because I decided I didn't know how to play chess. Because at the time I really didn't know how to play. I was rated 769. I played, like I said, 300 or 400 chess games, but I didn't understand the pattern, and I didn't understand how to actually navigate the way to win the game. And that's what I'm going to show in my next video, when I play a live 10-minute chess game, how I think differently from this. So then my opponent moves his knight to a5, which is actually a bad move because you want to develop your knight to the center. Maybe develop your bishop, get your rook out, and then I move my knight, which is actually probably the one good move I made in this game. And I probably didn't even know at the time, but it defends this pawn from being attacked here. And maybe I did know it, but just by watching me play this game so far, I probably didn't. Then he moves his bishop to f5, which is a pretty good move, f5. and it attacks this pawn. And now my bishop has to defend, which it already is, but it's going to create a lot of trouble. So I just kick the bishop, he moves back, and then I kick his knight moves back, and then I move my bishop to g2, and now I'm at least playing some variation of chess. I'm at 6:49 on the clock. He takes the free pawn. I move my king. He moves the bishop back. I move my bishop to trade pieces. So one thing I made a mistake of in this game was I gave up a free pawn again. So now I'm down by 5. And I'm trading pieces, losing. If you are losing in a chess game, you should not be trading your pieces because then it gives your opponent an easier chance to win and it gives your opponent also a chance to simplify the board. That's simple. He takes, I take that, and then he moves his rook, develops it, I take his knight, and then he checks my king, and my king is now getting killed by him. And eventually, he's able to pin my bishop to the rook. So now his rook is eyeing my rook. So if I move this bishop, he's just going to take my rook, and now he's up 5 still, and he has early development. Up 4 now. Not a big difference, though, because in this game, it wouldn't matter. And then, after all of that, I made another mistake. I trade knights, and then I move my bishop here, and it gives him this beautiful fork, which now attacks my king and my bishop, and then he proceeds to take the bishop, and now he's up by 7. And instead of developing my rook to the e-file, which is the first move I just thought of, or just trying to find a way to get my king to safety, I make the worst move possible, one of the worst moves, and just move to g5. There is no meaning in that move, and that's another mistake so many beginners make. They just make moves because they have no meaning and they don't know how to develop or get into an endgame with a solid chance of winning. In this position, as a beginner, I just moved a pawn because it felt simple and I didn't know what else to do. If you don't know what to do in a chess game, just develop a piece. I never moved my rook in the game. It's the most powerful piece I have left. Let's get it to an open file so now it controls all these squares. But instead I move the pawn and he checks me, he checks me, he checks me, and then he moves his rook here, and now it's attacking this pawn, and then his rook can go to a4, and then my rook can't guard this, so then my rook has to move out, but then I also have checkmate, so then he's probably going to move his pawn up 1. And so after thinking about that, I actually moved to the e-file, and this threatens checkmate right here. But that's not what he did. He couldn't let me have checkmate, so he moved his pawn up, and then I make a terrible move. I move my pawn to h4, just giving him this pawn. And he can also just take and doesn't make a difference. Again, I just gave up a free pawn. Instead of taking the free pawn, we trade, so that was a mistake by him. And this was a terrible chess game, really. Then I just traded rooks. Again, I don't know why I did. I traded rooks. Down now 8, and there's just no way I can win this game. He gets a queen, and he's on his way to checkmate. And there you go, with 18 seconds left. I play terrible, and it all started with the worst move you could possibly play to start a chess game, which is a3. Don't play that. You want to attack the center, you want to get your center pieces out, you want to get your pieces developed, you want to have a solid chance of actually winning a game, and instead I made a pawn wall, and this is why you don't make pawn walls in chess. I created the pawn wall. I thought I was the smartest person alive. And I remember some games I would win using the pawn wall because I would play terrible people who also didn't really know how to play chess. And that's really how I learned how to play chess. I didn't just become 1500. It was a hike. And I started at 700. And I was able to double my rating in 2 years and get to 1500, be a top 3% player in the world, now 2% player. And it took a lot of effort. It took a lot of practice. It took a lot of time. And I'm going to show you in this next game how I think of the board now. So let's play a game. 10 minutes. And let's do it. Let's see who I get. And I get a guy named Joni C477 from Canada, rated 1487, and I'm the white pieces. Let's go. So I'm going to start with E4, birthday edition game. E4, E5, normal. So now I'm going to play knight at 3, knight C6, and now I'm going to play the very well-known Scotch game. This is the opening I always play. And if you want to look into openings of the Scotch game, I'm going to have a full video coming out in probably a month or so about how to play as white in the Scotch game. And it's really interesting, and it's one of my favorite openings because it's so easy to understand. But not only that, but it's also really complex, and it's a mix of being aggressive and also being passive. It's really interesting. But I'm going to have to make a video on that soon because it's really cool how it works. So he takes, and in this, as black, he should have just moved his bishop here and developed it. Because if he does that, then he develops a piece, and then if I take this knight, he would just take back, and it would, even though it would double his pawns, that's okay, because then his bishops develop, but he doesn't do that. And now he makes the move bishop d6, which is really interesting for a player like him to make that move at 1487. And there's really no meaning behind this move. I've actually never seen this type of move before. This is a move I've never seen. And the first thing I looked at here was what this bishop can do, and that's really nothing. And then I saw, wait, my queen can just take this pawn. And so I don't really see why he would give me a free pawn. He's giving me this pawn here on g7. And my next guess is he's probably going to go queen here. And that's the only, yup, there you go. And so I'm going to take, and let me explain why he had to move there. My queen's attacking this rook. His bishop can go here, but then I'm just going to take the bishop. So he has to find a way. How can I make sure that this guy doesn't take my rook? The only way to do that is to move the queen here, because then if I do take the rook, his queen will take my queen on h8, which is why I knew he would move there, because that's pretty obvious. Okay, so now we have a chess game. I'm up 1 already, and I guess that was just really weird why he would move there anyways. So let's go, right? Okay, so this knight is now attacking this pawn. I have to realize that. First thing that I thought of here was, can I develop my knight and prevent that? If I go here, that now defends this square, so now this knight can't take here. But if I do that, then his bishop can pin my knight here, and that can lead to problems because then I have to defend this pawn again. So I probably don't want to go here. So why not go here and play a very different style of chess? Most people would go to c3. I'm going to play a little different, go to d2. So now his bishop, if it attacks me going here, I can just block it with the pawn. And now I'm going to play actually the same thing my opponent's going to do. He's going to probably develop the bishop here, and I'm going to develop my bishop here. And this is going to be interesting if he does develop the bishop to b7, which he could do. So he doesn't. He moves the bishop to e5. And that is going to attack my rook in the corner of the board. Not good. Only one possible move here that works, and that's just to move the rook to b1. If I defend with the pawn, his bishop's just going to take it on c3. And now he does make the move, bishop b7, and we got ourselves a middle game. I wouldn't say this is middle game yet. We're getting there. Man. So now we can see this pawn's being double attacked by 2. How can I defend that? Because I only have one piece defending it. And I think maybe just get the bishop here and defend. Or do I go on the attack? Do I go on the attack? Okay, this is something I learned in chess. If you want to win chess games, you can't keep defending. You got to attack your opponent. And that's why I'm going to make the move knight c4. Because now if he takes with either the knight or the bishop, I'm just going to take his bishop on e5. He checks. Not good. Okay, I think I'm going to take back. I'm going to go bishop d2. He's going to probably take. I'm going to take, and then he's going to win a pawn, and we're going to be tied. So I made a mistake there in my analyzing. Yep, that's what's going to happen. And this is going to become really interesting. Okay, so do we take? I think that's the question now. Do we take this knight? And I would say no. Because if we take this knight, then his bishop's in the center of the board, and that's really powerful. Another advice, don't just take pieces. Probably won't help you. You just do that. Man, I don't know. I think I'm going to go here, which is really weird. But my thinking was, if I go here, and then his knight takes, and I take back, then this will be open. So I have to defend that with this pawn, right? Because then my bishop is forced to prevent g2 with this bishop. Now he attacks my rook. Oh my goodness. I think I'm gonna go, well, no, I have to defend this pawn, so I have to go to g1. That's gonna defend the pawn here. And his knight is in a good spot right now. And now he's attacking this pawn here. Oh man. Okay, this isn't good for me because now he has lots of attacks. And I have to find a way to prevent these. I'm going to play bishop d3, which eyes this pawn. So he's going to have to find a way to defend that. He might push the pawn, or he might defend it with the rook, or he might just castle and ignore it. And he ignores it and takes this pawn. And so I'm probably going to just take his pawn, right? I think that's what I'm going to do. If he takes here, I can take here. If his rook takes my knight, I will trade. I'll just win material off that. Okay. So now we're in basically the middle game. I have 5, he has 8 minutes. So we kind of have to move faster. My knight, I don't like where it is. I want to get rid of it in that spot. Where can I move it? Really nowhere. I think I'm going to have to defend, and here's why. I have to defend because his rook has the powerful move here, and that's not good. So I have to defend against that. Oh no. Now I have to block. This is all falling apart before my eyes. I think I'm going to have to go here. Oh no, now his pawn's going to go here and win the knight. My rating's actually gone up. Oh my goodness, he didn't do it. Oh my goodness, he missed a big opportunity. If he goes here, he's going to win my knight because the rook is forked to the king. Instead, he just takes. And I catch a break. I get to take back. Even though he's going to win a pawn, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Assuming he takes here. Assuming that his bishop takes, I take back. His rook will take. No, now he goes there. See, he made that move one move too late. And now, okay, I'm going to just, yeah, I'm just going to kick the rook. It cannot take this pawn. The bishop defends it. It cannot take this pawn because my rook defends it. It has to move back. There's no other way it can move unless he wants to check me, and there's no possible checks. So he's going to have to move that rook somewhere back. He is, okay, there you go. He's going to move it to g5. And now I can just win this pawn. No, I can't, because then his bishop will take my rook. What happens if I offer a trade? Or no, yeah, let's offer a trade. Or, well, why? Okay, so see about being aggressive. Let's just kick his rook. Let's kick his rook, go to h4, and now his rook has to move on g5. This is 1500 chess thinking. You got to attack your opponent if you want a chance to win. And I'm already kind of in a losing position here. I'm just trying to find a way to recover because this bishop eyeing my rook is dangerous. And instead of acknowledging that and trying to move my rook to g1 and letting him take this pawn, I'm going to play aggressive and move to h4. Okay, there you go. So he's going to move back again. Can I attack again? Well, no, I don't think I really can. Can I offer a trade? Yes. Or can I just keep pushing this pawn? Yes. Oh, man, there's so many good options. But this is what is killing me. I have to figure out a way to get rid of that. And I think what I'm going to do is move my rook to e1, and that defends that. So everybody is eyeing this square. Every single piece is connected to e4. My bishop, my rook, and there you go, he takes. So I can't really take back because then he's going to win material. So I'm going to move to, oh, this isn't good. This is not good. Because after I move back, he's going to move his pawn up, attacking my rook right here. Okay, let's move back to e2. Let's move back to e2. We know what he's going to do. He's going to probably move his pawn to e3 or checkmate. Is checkmate? Is checkmate? That's checkmate. No. I have to defend with the bishop. And then he's going to take. And then I'm going to lose. Oh, man. That is probably not a great way to try to show how to play a chess game. Um, I'm not going to blame it on the board or pieces, but this is the first time I have played a game with these board and pieces before. Now, that has nothing to do, though, with a chance to win, because he's probably going to win. I'm still going to try one or two more tactics, but it really is looking bad for me. Okay, I'm going to move to F1, which kind of gives a small threat of moving. Yeah, well, that's checkmate, but he's not going to let me. But it does give me a threat of going to F8 for checkmate here, but that will not happen, I guarantee you. Yeah, there you go. And there's just no way. That now forks my king and rook, so we have to defend that going here, which I saw that move. Which is why I knew that that would be okay. But there's really still not many good options in this game to have a chance to win. Just not a lot going for me here. Last time I played this, last time I played with this type of game where I was losing this way, it's been a while. My chess rating last week was 1528. I got up to 1560 and then it dropped back down to 1537. But I've been playing really well lately. This game just didn't happen to go my way. It's going to go here, and I'm going to resign. There's just no way I can win it. Now I'm going to play one more game because that kind of felt depressing, and I feel like that's a bad way to end it. So let's play one more. This guy's from Indonesia, and I'm going to play as the white pieces again. So I'm getting lucky. This guy is Roman, SYAH17. He's from Indonesia, and he goes A5, which is really weird. So whenever you see weird moves, you want to attack the center with your pawns, and that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to move knight c3. And so this is actually exactly what I want, because he's going to move probably d5. And I have lots of options. I can go here, or I can just develop the knight, assuming he plays d5. Whoa. No, he goes b5. And that is wanting to attack my knight here, but that's not very smart. That usually doesn't work. So I'm just going to keep developing my pieces. If he does go here, then I'll just move my knight back here. And then I'll just open up my bishop, and I'll be fine to go, and then I'll castle kingside. It's really that simple. He plays a4. This is exactly what you shouldn't do in chess. He's basically making my pawn pyramid, except he's doing it in a different way, diagonally, and not horizontally. And, yeah, this is just how you shouldn't play chess, and if he does beat me in this game, I might not post this video. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to, no matter what. But, yeah, this isn't great for him. And let's see what he does. If he attacks my knight, I'm just going to move back. I have my bishop g2 here, and I also have this bishop, which can open up, and I can castle kingside as well, which is what my goal is. So then he goes g6. Every single move he's made in this game, he's used a pawn. 1 pawn, 2 pawn, 3 pawn, 4 pawn, 5 pawn. His first 5 moves have been pawns, and his next move is going to be bishop g7, most likely. And I'm going to go bishop g2, he's going to go bishop g7, and I am way ahead of him in development, and I'm going to have a way better position to win this game. Way better position. So this attacks his pawn, but again, he has no pieces developed. His knight can only move to the side of the board, his bishop is trapped because of this pawn right here. And then he has to move this pawn up, but then that gives up this. So, yeah, not looking good for him. And now I have a chance to develop this bishop here. Or I can just castle kingside. So there's 2 options. I'm going to castle kingside, and then I'm going to develop the bishop probably here or here. And, oh my goodness, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I think I'm just going to attack his knight. I can attack his knight and be aggressive, or if I want to, I can even try to go here and open up this game. I think I'm just going to play bishop f4, and when you look at the board right now, I moved both my knights, both my bishops, and castled. This guy has, look at this, right here. Is this okay in a chess game? These are some of your four most important pieces, and you haven't even moved them at all. Instead, you're focused on this. This arrow looks awful, but that's really what it is. I have my knights out in the game. I control this game so much. And I guess he's going to castle here, but I don't really see what that does. So I'm going to move queen b2. And that is so if he does castle, which he might. Knowing him, I don't know what he's going to do. I can go bishop h6 and trade off pieces. So, ooh, knight h5. What is that? Knight h5 is really weird. It attacks my bishop, but not really anything crazy. I'm just going to move the bishop back. And now your knight's on the side of the board. Like, do you really want that? This is interesting. This guy's from Indonesia. He's rated 1544. He's not playing very well, though. And some of these players that I played, if I look at their profile, which sometimes I do, to see how recent their games are, how I should play them. This guy he joined earlier this year, and yeah, he's lost a lot lately. That's not good for him. He's 2-7 in his last 9 games, and he's rated 1140 blitz. So that explains why he might be playing this way. He's kind of playing very safe. And so knowing that, I'm going to go bishop h6. Bishop h6. If you take this, I go here, and then I bring my knight to g5, and I will get checkmate on h7. But he can still take the bishop and be okay. He just has to defend knight g5, because if I do go knight g5, he is not going to have a chance to win. Look, bishop takes, my queen takes, and let's say he makes a normal move. If it's even normal for him, I don't even know. Then I just go knight g5 with my queen being here, and that goes on this square. My knight will be eyeing it, my queen will be eyeing it. There's no way to defend that. That's checkmate with the queen on h7. If you want to pause the video and look at what I mean, I'll explain it to you more in detail. If I could, I would, but that's really how simple it is. And he goes bishop e6, so he doesn't take the trade. He doesn't take it, which is important for him because I could kick this pawn, but then he would take. I think I'm going to open up the center. I'm going to open up the center now, so if he takes, I take. Now he's attacking his bishop. This is interesting. And I have 6:31 the clock, which is better than my last game. And I'm playing really well, so we'll see what happens. He does take. So now do we take with the pawn, the knight, or the queen? We can't take with the queen. His bishop will take, right? If I go here, his bishop will take my queen. I think I'm going to take with the pawn, and the reason why is because if I take with my knight, it doesn't really do much with any of the squares. And I'd rather just take with the pawn and then move my knight here and then here. And that makes sense, because then I have my knight to e4, and then I get my knight to g5. And that can lead to problems like this that I was explaining. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. I like this a lot. I feel really good about this game. And now my knight is also eyeing this pawn, so the only way he can keep that pawn is from his back. And he doesn't move back! He's giving me a pawn. This is a free pawn. There is no... Wait, yeah, there's really nothing for him here. What? Yeah, free pawn. Free pawn! Knight b5, wins a free pawn, and now I'm winning by 1. And so, if we look at the board right now, this is pretty good for me. And he still hasn't even developed half his pieces, and that's why I'm winning by a lot right now, because there's really nothing he can do, and unless I make a serious blunder by talking too much and not paying attention to the board, I should be okay. By the way, I also added this profile picture temporarily, 17 with the balloons, which I think is cool. I have balloons right behind me. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Rook a5 is kind of weird. I can't take the rook because his queen will take my queen, and that would not be good. And he's also attacking this knight, so I guess I have to move the knight. Or, well, yeah, I probably should just move the knight back and not get greedy. So let's just move the knight back and see what he plays. We go here. He could develop the queen somewhere. He could maybe develop the knight. Not there, the pawn, but he can develop it here. The rook can get out. He's got lots of options, but knowing him, he's probably going to make like this move or this move with his pawns. Which is okay. We're all different. I mean, I've seen players make the weirdest moves and somehow find a way to win, but usually it's because I make a mistake. If you play players right this way, you will probably win a game. If you can play players right when they make a lot of undeveloping moves, you should be able to win. That is a very good move by him. He developed a knight to d7. I personally think that that's probably one of the best moves he could have made. Honestly. I'm just going to kick this bishop, and it's basically saying you can take the knight or you can move back. You got two options. If you move back, then I'm going to kick your knight, and then I'm going to take your bishop here. And he takes. And now I am kicking the knight here. So this knight is defending this piece, and now I'm going to take, and this king's going to have to go here. And this is exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. Exactly how I drew it up. Perfectly. And now my queen has this beautiful diagonal, which will check the king. This king is in danger because my pawns can attack it. And this is just looking really good for me. And so this is when I have to make a lot of endgame decisions. Endgame, middle game decisions. I'm going to move my pawn to g4. Next move is pawn g5 right here. Okay, this attacks my bishop, which would fork my queen and king. I have to defend that. And that's actually a scary move. And I'm just going to go here. And that also now has this pawn with the knight. And so now I'm attacking him. So see, instead of like moving a move like king g2 to defend the bishop, now I'm attacking the pawn as well and defending the bishop with my queen, my most powerful piece, which is what you want to do. He takes, I take back. And I guess it's not a terrible trade because it's a one pawn game, so it's not terrible. You usually don't want to trade pieces though in this position. And that also now defends this pawn from being taken, right? And we'll see what happens. But because he took so long to develop, I have a huge advantage in this game. And now he goes queen b6, and that gives up a free pawn. Well, no, it doesn't, because the queen is defending that. I guess it's attacking this. But if I give him this, and then go here, it's not the end of the world. Then his queen would have to move back, and then, no. I kind of don't want to give him a free pawn, though. For that. How about I just go on the offense again and kick the knight? Let's just keep going on offense, and now we're going to focus on kicking the knight. If he wants to go here, fine. Then he's just going to lose the knight. I have 336. He has 450. So time-wise, I'm doing okay. I might need to move a little faster, though. And then he moves his knight back. Okay. So there's lots of options here. There's a lot. And I think I'm just going to offer a trade. Remember, you want to trade when you're winning. Even if it's a pawn. The pawn's a big deal. A pawn's a really big deal. And I'm also offering this trade, which he takes. You usually don't want to take because now you give my rook an open file. What he should have done is just moved here because now I kind of am forced to take his rook or else his rook gets an open file. Instead he takes. And now my rook controls this open file. You want your rooks to control an open file, and now my rook controls one. So now even though I'm only up by one, it's kind of a lot more. So now his knight's attacking my queen, that's fine. I'm going to offer him another trade. And if he wants to take, then I'm fine going into an endgame up a pawn with 3:05 on the clock. Let's do it. Okay, let's go. Let's go. 3:05 on the clock, 3:04, up a pawn, fine by me. Oh, attacks the knight. And that will lose this pawn. That's not good. Okay, that's okay. We're fine. That's a really good move by him. I'm going to move knight e4. And he's going to take. And then he also has this check. Oh, man. Do I give him the check? If I give him this check, will I be okay? No. Well, should I just risk it? Go here? No, I don't think I should. I don't want to play defense, but this move, this square right here is causing a lot of problems for me. Which is not good. So I'm going to go... Oh, no. I'm honestly going to go rook b1. Give him the check. f1. What's he going to do after that? I guess he can check here. But then I just move back, and I'm fine forcing a draw. And that's just how this game's going to have to go. But now this pawn right here has this whole file to itself. I'm just saying that that can be a concern if he forgets about it and tries to get greedy, which happens to a lot of players, and he goes for the win, which isn't even a win. Let's see what he does. Got 3:28 on the clock, so he's going to probably use his time. He attacks here. He attacks there, wow. I think I'm just going to push this. Well, I want to defend this pawn, but I don't think I can. What happens if I just go all in for this pawn and see what happens? No, that won't work because he has this, which would prevent this. And let's go here. He's going to take. I'm going to move here. Now that attacks his knight can defend it though, going there. That would be bad though, because if his knight goes here, my king. That can just be risky. If his knight does something like that. Well, he can't move here because the pawn will just take here. But we'll see what he does. And he goes here attacking this pawn. So he's going for all my pawns. It's what he is trying to do. He's trying to win every single one of my pawns. I'm just going to push my pawn. I'm just going to keep pushing it. And I'm going to tell you something, honestly. I do play worse in my videos, and I've noticed that. I don't know why, but yesterday, if you look at some of my chess games, I won 5 in a row. And I was feeling pretty confident in this video that I would do well. And I hope some of the moves I explained helped. Just it didn't really work out in my favor in these games. It's kind of annoying. But if you look at my profile, Detroit Lions 8, you can check out my chess games and let me know what you think. This pawn move will win the knight, so I have to not let that happen. But he's up by 3. And unless he blunders, I'm probably not going to win. Except my only hope is this pawn. If this pawn can get to the end of the board, that would be great. I'm going to go here. My knight can cause problems going here with the check. See, my knight and pawn are what keeping me in this game. Those are the two things that I still have optimism about. He makes a mistake, and I capitalize with the knight fork, or I do something different. Oh my gosh, yeah. Doesn't take. Just gonna let me convert it, and then he's just gonna take it. And then I think that'll make a big difference. 54 on the clock. Can I kick the knight out? What happens if I try to kick the knight out? See, I could have just made my pawn a queen, but then he just takes and I take back. It doesn't make a big difference. So really, why not? Why not try to do this? Oh no, now his rook's just going to move here. No. Okay. I'm still not going to get any hope though, honestly. Okay, there you go. Yeah, tough games. I'm going to end the video here. I hope you learned something. I hope you liked this birthday video, by the way. My rating's at 1520. Yesterday I got up to 1560. And I'm just going to keep working at it, you know, these million player. I'm going to keep working at it. It's really what I'm going to keep doing all time. Here's my chess rating. It started at 704 on May 16th, 2023. Not even 2.5 years ago. I was rated 704 and I climbed the ladder, and there were definitely bad moments. You know, I got to 1200 in September, and then I dropped back down to 1,000, and I didn't even get to 1,300. My peak right here was September 7th, 2023, and I did not even gain anything from September 7th, 2023 until March 15th, 2024, and all of a sudden I hit a whole new level. And then I kind of stayed the same again. And then I had one of the biggest peaks of chess I've ever had in my life. On January 4th, 2025, earlier this year, I went from 1241 to 1522. In a matter of 13 days, I gained almost 300 rating points. I don't know how it happened. Okay, I don't know how this stuff happens, but if you just have to trust the process and keep learning, keep growing. I got to 1522 on January. I didn't really play much since, and as I stand here, I got to 1520. And you know, it's really just you have to keep working at it. And if you keep working at it, you're going to be good. Just keep practicing, enjoy the game, enjoy the process. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe. I hope you got something from it. And I will see everybody next week. I hope you have a good one. And for now, stay safe and continue playing chess. And thanks for watching.